Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly if you'd like. Deep breath out. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Notice this rhythm of your breath as the belly rises and the chest expands. Notice how it falls. And continue to breathe in this rhythm as we go through this morning's meditation for day 16, day 22, and day 30 for some. As you take this next deep breath in, let me adapt to what I cannot change, seeing gifts in every dilemma. How to truly trust in yourself. I trust in life because I trust myself. My reality is pure intelligence and wholeness. There is no greater battle than the parts of you that want to be healed and the parts of you that are content remaining broken. Your beliefs determine what you manifest in life. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you can trust that the greater and grander possibility will rise up in your life. Real trust is based on something permanent and reliable. That foundation is within yourself. It's the opposite of having a big ego. When hope and trust are grounded in the true self, you don't have to look to others for directional strength. You are confident in your ability to create your own reality because you trust in yourself is unshakable. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And on your next breath, inhale, gently open the eyes and reach the arms up in the direction of the sky. And then exhale, bring the hands to heart. Honoring your practice this morning, honoring your time. And this morning, let's begin our class with a collective Om. Inhale for Om. That was the perfect time. Gently open your eyes, and let's make our way down onto our backs for those of us that are seated. As we come onto our backs, you're going to roll yourself down. I'm going to invite you to modify as much as you'd like. The class is more adaptive. We move at a slower pace. It is a slower flow today. You're welcome to lay here on your back the entire class and just breathe, and that's your yoga, and I'm fine with that. I also invite you to give yourself permission to discover whether you need to relax in certain areas of the pose, or if you'd like to challenge yourself and invite yourself to practice. So it's up to you, but welcome. On your next breath, hands down by your sides. We're going to begin in bridge pose today. Bring your feet close towards your tushy just so that the heels are beneath your knees. I really enjoy placing a block or a pillow between my thighs just as a gauge for something to squeeze, to invite the inner thigh rotation, squeeze those thighs. Push your shoulders down, lift your chest, so you're opening up your heart this morning. And then push into your heels and lift your tushy off the ground, knees point forward. Exhale, lower your hips down. Now let's marry this breath. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're going to add the arms this time on the next breath. Option is sustain up in the top. Inhale, lift the arms back, lift the hips. Exhale, roll yourself down, hands come down towards the earth. 3 more, breathing. Feel free to close the eyes here and just tune into your body. Notice the spine rolling down the mat. Notice where you might be holding a little tension. If you can relax a little bit more. Remember, everything is an option, so you don't even have to go that high. Just a tiny lift off the ground is enough, especially if you're just recovering from any surgery and you just want to get a little movement back in. Take one more breath. Everyone hold it at the top. Squeeze that block. Exhale, lower down. Once the tailbone touches the earth, remove the blockage is there and windshield wiper, side to side, side to side. Find your smile, friends. Friday. Friday. Day 16. Let's come back to neutral, y'all, and draw your right knee in. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Release the hands behind your thigh. Interlace the fingers. Extend the leg up towards the sky about 90 degrees or in the general direction of. You can keep that knee bent. And then begin to make a few little rotations. This is a really sweet option for those of you just waking up this morning, waking up the body, getting into the hamstrings. If this is your second yoga class this morning, then maybe you extend your leg up a little bit higher, kicking through your heel. Maybe extend through your left leg. Find some breath. Really connect. In this particular asana, you want to bring that lower belly up and in so that you're contracting on the exhale. The core is active and engaged here, almost as though you can press your back, even the curvature of your back, into the earth. That's how intense you want to feel this stretch, this engagement through the lower body. Let's take one more breath here. And then as we exhale, kindly guide that leg back down. Option to bend the knee if you like. I will because I have my little couch there. And then draw your left knee in towards your heart. From this space, you can hang out here or interlace the fingers underneath that thigh and begin to extend the leg. I typically start with my knee bent, making a few rotations to tune into the asana, to the pose. Linking my breath to this motion. You know why I love this yoga incense so much? It smells like Bali. And then extend the heel up towards the sky. Kicking through your heel, shoulders down. Couple of rotations with that ankle, extension of the leg if that's for you. I'm just going to move to the side so I can explore that. And really that's what all of this is. It's an exploration of the body. Yoga is an exploration of the body. It's also unifying the mind, body, spirit, breath. Yoga. Kick through your heel, take one more breath. And then release your hands from your thigh. Begin to let that leg float its way back down towards the earth. A little warm up here, and then both legs lift, inhale towards the sky. And then knees into chest, hug yourself here. Relax your feet back into the earth, hands to the hip flexors. Press down into those hip flexors. The natural arch of your spine returns, creating a little traction through the spine. This way it just lengthens there, working through those discs. And then kindly pressing away the hands, release the hands down, knees in, and then once you're here, reach for the outside edges of your feet, ankles, or shin. We'll begin with happy baby, getting into the hip flexor stretch. Happy baby can be way up here today, or it can be really, really way down here. The intention is to keep, again, the spine entirely on the mat. Rolling the hips down and the knees coming apart slowly. This is a sweet spot to move from side to side, to tune in to that lower back, into the hip flex. Elbows to the insides of the knees, keeps the knees open. And then we're gonna come back to center, roll like a ball, back and forth, using your momentum. This is fun, I like doing it. And then you're gonna eventually roll all the way up. Now if that's not for you, you're like, girl, please. Then just roll to the side, and then roll yourself up. When there's a will, there's a way. Once you're on your up position, let's come to seated, please. And then from here, hands to knees, coming into our Sufi circles. The options are 1, Sukhasana, easy pose. Option 2, you can come to butterfly bound angle pose. The other option is to sit and lift the hips like I really like doing. It just opens up the space here to keep my knees down. From this space, come forward on your next breath and begin to make a few circles. And really tune into this, really get into it. You can add your head and roll around here, up and down. Notice your breath, make sure you're marrying your breath as you move. And remember, you can do this as long as you like, or reverse your circle. And you can do a little bit of both. You can go in one direction and the other if you like. You can hang out in one spot and just make neck roll. When you're coming to balance, back to center, roll yourself up. Look up towards the sky. Exhale, chin to chest. Walk the hands over to the left, and let's come to hands and knees, or your favorite pose so that you can see me. And in hands and knees, please make this comfortable for your knees so we can come into our stretch. You're going to extend that right leg back, nice and long. And those of you with sensitive wrists, I encourage fist, but tuck your thumb in so you're not pushing all the energy into your thumb, creating a ligament tear. And then roll the shoulders back. And you can do tiny ones. It could just be shoulders touch and push the mat away. That's fine too, friends. That's fine too. Extend through the right if you desire. Lift the right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Deep exhale. Now lift that right leg, lift the left arm if you'd like. Take a few rounds of breath. Flex your foot. I got my couch for support. Love that. Good. Zip up through the belly. So we're not dumping into the belly. And then back to center. Release the palm, release the leg. Please shake that out, let it go. Now we come to center. Left leg extends, tuck the toes, and then reposition yourself. Lift the left, lower the left. Toes touch the ground, lift the leg. Doesn't need to go too high and lower. It's more of an isometric movement right at the glute, and then we lower. This next time we sustain, and we lift and reach. Zip up through the tummy, pull that belly up and in. Lengthen through the fingertips. Couple breaths. On the exhale, release the hand, release the knee. Please shake that out, let it go. Coming into twist, left arm lifts. Exhale, thread your needle, shoulder to the mat, ear to the mat or to a pillow, and reach that right arm forward or up towards the sky. If you prefer, you can rotate your palm away from you, bend your elbow. Reach for the inside of that left thigh for your bind. And if that is not an option for you, just placing the back of your hand on your sacrum and actively rolling your shoulder back is good enough. We work towards the direction of the pose without forcing anything. Couple of breaths here, please. Hear the sound of your breath wash over you for those in Ujjayi breath, the breath of victory. Almost as though you're fogging a mirror with the mouth closed. That's kind of the sound you want to hear, or the conch shell up to your ear. For my divers and snorkelers, it's the sound of your breath under the water. And then relaxing your eyes and your jaw and inviting a gentle smile on the face. Release the bind, release the right arm, begin to slide it back under the right shoulder, my friends. And then sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Offer your intention, your gifts, your prayers. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yes. Stop. Now release that left hand down. And then just a little side twist, side stretch. Look at your tushy, look at your tushy. Now let's come back to center. Right arm lifts, big openings. You really reach up. And then exhale, slide that right arm under the left, all the way down, the shoulder goes, the head goes down or touches a pillow. Walk that left hand forward. And then repositions for stability. Then lift that left arm up. Turn the palm, reverse high five. Bend the elbow. You might be right here. My hand is touching my lower back. If you want to go more, it's like a snake sliding down and then touching that inner right thigh. The intention of the bind is to keep the shoulder open. You will feel it through the lower ribs as well. The more your belly draws in on the exhale, the deeper the twist. Which is known as creating space, which is why we don't eat 2 hours before yoga, as we're moving the internal organs and the digestive system. It's okay if you have to run to the bathroom at this point. 2 more rounds of breath. 1 more round. Inhale, begin to unwind. Unwind. Takes a few moments to get out. Press that left hand down. Sweep the right arm up. Ooh, all the creaks, cracks, pops. Good, good, good. Let it all go. Now shake that out once more. Very kindly, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. And if downward facing dog is not for you, remain here. Downward facing dog, you're going to tuck your toes, lift your knees, push into your hands, and notice how I do that. For those of you very new to yoga, my shoulders are directly over my wrists, tucking my toes about hip distance apart, lifting the knees off the ground. My butt's gonna go back towards my heels, push into my hands, so I'm pushing the front of the mat away. Notice my body's reaching back. Now kick your heels down and lift your butt. There you go. See? Now, eyes at the elbows, so the creases of the elbows start to turn forward. It's gonna feel really weird, and that's when you know you're doing it. Yes. Chest towards the ground, now towards your thighs. And this is where the belly button's gonna draw in more. And your sit bones, imagine you're just gonna sit on the ceiling. Your sit bones are reaching up. Now look towards your toes. And take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Y'all are gonna be here for 3 to 5 breaths. Now for those of you on your knees still, you can stay here. Now for those of you in down dog, those of you in hands and knees, for those in hands and knees, you're gonna sit back towards your heels. For those of you in downward dog, right hand to your left ankle. For those seated, right hand to your left thigh and look over your shoulder. For those in down dog, if your ankle is not an option, reach for your calf or for your thigh. And then just look under your left shoulder. A couple of breaths here. Gentle twist. It's kind of like the game Twister. And then inhale, come back to center. We're just gonna switch. Left hand, right leg, anywhere on that leg, and gaze under, hi friends, gaze under your right arm. Turning our perspective upside down. It's kind of fun, seeing things from a different way. Take that how you like. And then inhale, let's come back to center. Lift that right leg, goes on in seated, come forward to hands and knees, and then lift the right leg up. And then flex your foot. It doesn't have to be too high. As a matter of fact, lower your leg down so much that it's more about hip height. Good. Now, bend your knee. Bring your knee as close to your tummy as possible. And now move forward and step your foot down. It might be like way back here. Take your hand to your ankle and bring it forward. Turn your back foot 45 degrees. Even if you step up, that's fine. I prefer you do that anyway. Shorten the stance. Start to walk your way up. Your leg, about halfway, you're going to start to turn that left hip forward. You might even turn your back foot a little bit more. Yes. Now, spread your toes like Ariel. Press your ball of your foot and your heel into the ground, knee over ankle. Pelvic floor, slightly scoop under so the shoulders are over the hips and start to reach the arms up. Now, for some that have limitations in the knee replacement surgery, I know it's a challenge. Do not overstretch if need be. Allow yourself permission to work your way into the pose. There's no need to force it. Take 2 more breaths here. You have the option to support yourself without having the arms up. Reach for opposite elbows behind you. Take 1 more breath. Now we are going to take the journey forward into Warrior 3. Warrior 3 to begin. For some of you, those of you more advanced, go ahead and take flight 5 breaths. Everyone else, start to shift your weight forward. You can release the hands if you're in bind. And then start to move forward just until you're about over your heel. Straighten that right leg, and when you stand on the right leg, your left leg lifts off the ground. So, good morning. So flex through your back foot. Kick actively here and lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Then from here, squeeze your thighs and just play with that sensation of standing. Now you're going to take 1 more breath. It's okay to fly all over. It's okay to fly. It is. And then bend your knee and let that go. Now let's come back to that warrior one, friends. Laugh it off. Guess what? You have another side. So we're gonna exhale and release the hands down to the ground. Let's meet in plank pose. Modify your plank if you like with your knees on the ground, but please continue to keep the shoulders over your wrists. And again, for those of you that this is not an option, I'm gonna invite you to bring your forearms down to the mat, remove the blanket, and come down to your belly for Sphinx pose instead, because that could be a better option for you. We're gonna be here for just a few rounds of breath. If you're in plank, continue to hold. My plankers, shoulders and hips in one line. More advanced, play with lifting one leg and then the other. Modifies the knees. On your fifth breath, you're going to hinge your hips and come back to down dog. For those of you in Sphinx pose, you can tuck your toes, hinge your hips, and come to dolphin pose and walk your feet in. Couple of breaths here. Dolphin pose, very strong asana as well. You can play with lifting one leg up and playing with that, alternating the breath to the other side if you prefer. Forearm balance, for those of you that want to go there, go. We're going to walk our hands towards our feet. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. On your next breath, walk back out to your happy down dog. Big breath in, please. Through the nose, exhale. Left leg rises up and not too high. Again, just about that hip level. You want to really draw that belly in. Press active through your left leg. Breathe, 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 breathe. And now we're going to step. Well, first we're going to bend the knee. Draw the knee real close to your body. The higher the knee is to the body, the easier it is to bring your foot. Lift up onto the tippy toes of your right foot. And now bring your left foot down. It's also nice to use your blocks because you can make more clearance. Your back foot comes down, I'm just going to scooch back more. And then reach the arms up. You can climb up your leg like we did before. All those fun things, right? Okay. And breathe. And smile. Nice, nice and slow. No rush. And take any arm position that you did before. If you want to change it, you can. And breathe and focus. And smile. Remember to work in the direction of tracking the knee over the front ankle while keeping your back leg strong. And we're going to begin the movement into Warrior 3 or variation of. 5 breaths. More advanced, go for it. Everyone else, let's go together. Let's start to release the bind. And then press into that left leg. You're literally dragging your right leg with you. See, I'm even pulling my mat with me. And now look forward towards the horizon, not down. And stay right here. If your toe starts to touch the ground, let it touch the ground. Now kick through your heel. Now lift through your core. Squeeze your thigh muscles. And breathe. This is where we are. Just breathe. That's it. That's it. One side's always different than the other. Squeeze your butt. Lift your chest. Honestly, I like saying squeeze your butt. Squeeze your butt. Super good, y'all. 5th breath. Go ahead and bend your knee. Take your foot down or dance it out. Fall out. Laugh it off. Reach
the arms up. Celebrate that. That was Caroline celebrating she fell out of her pose. Like, yeah. So you reach up nice and big. And now let's take the hands down. Find our plank pose. Find our plank pose. Good. Nice deep breath. For 2. Again, Sphinx is always welcome. We're gonna come all the way down. So you can stay up here, but lower with the elbows hugging by, or you can take your knees down and lower. Keep your tushy high, and then slide down. Then when you're down, Sphinx or Cobra. Sphinx, remember, you're sliding your hands forward so the elbows are under your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze your thigh muscles. You have a nice long tail like a cobra tail, and you're lifting your heart. Think of how proud the Sphinx is over in Egypt, how big, how massive. So think of that structure, and that will become you. 2 more breaths. If you're in Sphinx or Cobra, look over your left shoulder or up dog. And then inhale to center, exhale right. Inhale center, release yourself down, tuck your toes, dolphin or downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths there. Again, for those of you in dolphin and want to play with lifting one leg or the other or both, go right ahead. Roll up onto the hands, my dolphins. Walk your hands to meet your feet. Forward fold, back edge of your mat. Shake it out here. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. Come back to center. And come up. Inhale. Palms touch, hands to heart. Mountain pose. Clear the space, clear the space. Shh. Hands down by your sides. In mountain pose, feet can be either together or hip distance apart. Really roll the shoulders back. Lift your heart. Soften the eyes, especially the eyebrow space. Really release all that tension around the mouth. Now let the shoulders roll down. Open the eyes if they are closed, and bring your hands together and the palms touch. Shift your weight to the right foot. Lift the left knee. Extend the leg out in front of you and draw the knee in. Extend and draw the knee in. One more time, extend. Draw the knee in. Turn the knee out to the left. Place your foot on the inner calf. If you wish to reach down for your ankle and take your foot to the inner, towards the groin, inner thigh, then you're welcome to that. Avoid your knee. Any arm position is welcome here for your tree pose. Arms can be high, but don't look down at the ground. Look towards me or look past me. Look up towards the ceiling. Really concentrate on the horizon. Look at something beautiful. Look out the window. Become that tree. Become that tree. Take 3 more breaths here, friends. 3 more breaths. I know, but it's all messed up.
Yeah, I'm just smiling at the Dalai Lama.
Oh, yeah, smile at the Dalai Lama. He's right there behind me. Look, right there, y'all. Now let's come to breath 5. If you're not there yet, please take your time and bring your hands together to your heart. Draw your knee forward. Extend your leg back behind you. High lunge. Reach the arms up. Reach the arms up. Stay here for 3 breaths. We're going to do a little twist here. just a little one. So we're here for 3. And then after 3, let's bring the hands in prayer, and the elbows are high, okay? So they're parallel to your wrists. And just like what I did there, we're going to just melt a little deeper into the stretch. Please take your left knee down for those of you that find this a little awkward or balance is a little challenge. And then begin to twist to the right. And you're going to squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. So it's just a torso. And you might be just right here today. It might be a little baby twist. And this is a really sweet option to take the knee down also. And start with the knee down and then come up. Arms open. And you'll be here for 3 to 5 breaths. My more advanced yogis that want to take this a little further, you're going to take the right hand down towards your ankle. You're going to lift the left arm up and over. You might bend into the front knee a little bit more and stay there for a few rounds of breath. Many options. If you fall out, laugh it off. It's just yoga. That's all it is. You are your greatest teacher. You can do this. Begin to come out of the pose, more advanced yogis. Very slowly make your way back to center, untwist to neutral position. Exhale, release the hands down, forward fold, step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Roll up. Take up as much space as you need. Take the arms out wide. And bring the hands to heart. Again, fixate your gaze on something in front of you. Engage the left leg. Sweep the right knee up. And extend that leg out long. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, knee in. Out to the side. Find that space on your leg. Reach the arms up. Remember, one side is always different than the other. If this side is kind of more wonky, wishy-washy, then maybe today let's hang out down here. It's more important to breathe into the space than it is to get distracted in trying to get into the pose. The body will naturally open its way up to getting there. But give yourself permission to just laugh things off and meet yourself where you are today. Trust yourself. 3 more. Gentle smile, relax your eyebrows. Nice. Remember, you got all the tools around you. You got walls, chairs, couches, everything to support your balance. Let's come back to center. Big breath in. On the exhale, you're going to step your leg back and reposition yourself as needed. I'm going to turn this way so you can see what it looks like from this side. I'm going to start with my knee down on the ground. Reaching up for a moment here for a couple rounds of breath and crescent lunge. And then from here, let's take those hands to the heart, elbows up. And we're going to just twist first from the lower ribs. The inhale, and then exhale, lower ribs. Now keep squeezing that left knee in towards your midline, please. Good. Now open the arms out to a T. This is it, 5 breaths. For those of you that pitch back, again, another option, if you're working on the pitch back, take a block to the inside of that right foot and reach back. So you could be working on that as well and playing with that option or variation. Looking in the direction of the sky. You're standing, you're reaching back for your thigh. Begin to inhale, begin to unwind, unbind, reach up through crescent lunge. Exhale, release the hands down. You're gonna lift that right leg up, standing split or standing L. This is also a sweet spot for your couch or for your blocks to support yourself here. This could be it today. This is fine. For others, you have your leg up way high. For others, you have your head down towards the ground. And for others of you, are holding 5 breaths in handstand. I really enjoy the use of the blocks in this pose to help bring the earth and relax the head. Handstands, begin to very slowly float your way back down to forward fold. Everyone else, take your right leg and take it behind the left as you make your way up. Place your foot down and rise up. Take that left hand, use your crisscross like so. Left hand, right wrist, and take a gentle tilt. Side stretch. 3 more breaths. Inhale through center. Release, clear the space. Step the left foot away. Forward fold, bow. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Hands to blocks or to the earth. Left leg rises, standing split or variation thereof. Handstands can work through transitions, or you can play with headstand, forearm balance, or an inversion of choice. Hollowing out the belly here to bring your forehead in the direction of your knee. You can also take your hand behind your leg and play with that option of balance as well. 2 more rounds of fun breath here. Know that you can fall out of your poses all the time and laugh things off, y'all. Don't take yourself too serious. Inner thigh rotation in this pose, more than squeezing your glutes. It's more about the inner thigh rotation. On the exhale, those in handstand or in inversions, begin to pike your legs and come down. Everyone else, begin to slowly make your way up. Left leg behind the right. So we're going to come into that crisscross again. Rise up and reach up. So the arms are up. My badness, I'm way up in the camera. And then take your right hand to the left. And then reach up and over, side twist, side stretch, stretchy stretch. Slither chickens. It's Freaky Friday, I tell you. Inhale, come back to center, friends. And bow down, uncross the legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Walk yourself out, plank pose. Walk the feet out, roll into plank. Exhale, come down, knot your hips first. Elbows, then your heart, and then your hips. And relax your toes. Scoochie yourself to the center of your mat, please, and then relax your arms. Big breath in, out the mouth. Relax your feet, let them turn in, let the heels turn out. Move your hips from side to side. Move your hips from side to side. Take your right arm out to the side, like in a T. Take your left hand towards your boobie and place it right next to you like we did when we came into twists. Turn your cheek so you're looking at your left hand. Legs together. Turn to the right. Shoulder stretch. Option to play here with lifting your leg, with bending your knee, and placing it behind you. I do not recommend this if you have sciatica, especially in the right side, as it will trigger it. So just keep the shoulder stretch instead. Couple breaths more. Inhale, let's come back to center or stay as long as you like, please. Extend your left arm out, slide your right hand towards the breast, and then press into the earth, rolling onto that left shoulder, opening up the left shoulder girdle. And again, for those of you without sciatica that want to play with lifting your right leg up, back, and behind, getting into deeper stretches here, please do so. And if you're having a wonderful morning, then you can go ahead and do that too if you're not having any flare-ups. If you are having a flare-up, I highly recommend you don't do it today. Don't do it. Okay. Instead, you might want to play with your hand on your hip and play with the balance. This is the kind of pose you can fall asleep in. Slowly roll yourself back to center. Sphinx pose last time, little back bend, look up. Push back, child's pose or puppy pose. Puppy stretches here. And child's pose is here. So the knees are together or width of the mat, toes touch. Puppy pose, the hips are over the knees and the heart is towards the ground. It's a beautiful stretch. It reminds me of baby C. When you're complete, kindly walk your way back to seated. Reach the arms up. Exhale, clear the space. 3 breaths seated. And when you're complete and seated, kindly invite yourself to your back. I like to take the blanket or a little soft pillow or towel and roll it in halves for the arch of my spine. As I roll myself down, relax the shoulders into the mat, hands out, and then let the knees drop over to the right, gaze to the left. You can shoosh the hips over if you like, or you can keep the feet wide and drop the knees over. I like to do that. Again, soften the eyes, soften your jaw. And then inhale through center and let the knees sway over to the left. Gaze in the direction of the right. Inhale to center, coming into Shavasana. You can come into butterfly if that's for you. You can come into legs up on a couch or on a wall or on a chair. You can let the legs go long.
Sensitive backs, I suggest the knees stay bent or supported with something behind you, underneath you, like a blanket or a towel. And as you're making your way into Shavasana, take a moment to scan your body. Breathing into the fingers and the toes and allowing all of that to just relax. Let your Hara breath come out. Inhale and exhale out the mouth. Just allow your body to surrender. It's such an ugly word, I know. But surrender. Let me adapt to what I cannot change. Seeing gifts in every dilemma. I trust in life because I trust myself. My reality is pure intelligence and wholeness. There is no greater battle than the parts of you that want to be healed and the parts of you that are content remaining broken. Your beliefs determine what you manifest in life. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you can trust that greater and grander possibilities will rise up in your life. Real trust is based on something permanent and reliable. That foundation is within yourself. It's the opposite of having a big ego. When hope and trust are grounded in the self, you don't have to look to others for directional strength. When hope and trust are grounded in true self, you don't have to look to others for directional strength. You are confident in your ability to create your own reality because your trust in yourself is unshakable. Yourself to drift off a little deeper, melting into the support of your mat a little more.
Satoma Sargamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Begin to breathe awareness into your fingers and your toes. Joining us at your leisure, making your way up into a comfortable seat in the center of your mat. Oh, I see a lovely. Oh, you're so welcome.